Intro time.
Hello viewers.
Hello viewers indeed, and welcome to the only guide you are going to need to start your go-karting journey. In this video, we're going to cover the core aspects of rental karting. These will be broken down into 5 essential sections. Number 1, where to start racing. Number 2, learning basic racing skills. Number 3, buying your gear. Number 4, dedicating your time. And number 5, the next steps. So let's get cracking. To start off with, we're going to need to decide where we're going to start racing. Most people are faced with the core decision of indoor karting versus outdoor. There are 2 main differences between the two. Indoor karting tracks are usually made up of wooden surfaces or concrete, but you can sometimes find tarmac, but this is rare. These surfaces are all completely different, as some indoor tracks are even made up of multiple surfaces. For instance, Team Sport Warrington in the UK has wood upstairs and concrete downstairs, but also has a tarmac section in the hairpin. This can make for an interesting driving challenge, as the grip will change drastically as you change surfaces. In my opinion, the best way to decide is to try both and just go with the one that you enjoy most. But you've got to bear in mind that if you go outdoors, you're going to have to deal with rain, which changes the game completely, as you're always on slicks in rental karting. When deciding where you're going to start racing, you also have to bear in mind the cost. Indoor tracks such as Team Sport have a great budget option in their race academy sessions. These are made up of 2 15-minute sessions with professional tutoring from an experienced race academy instructor. I will let you in on a little secret. On Sundays, I'm actually one of the instructors at Team Sport. I teach at their Acton track in West London, so be sure to say hi if you see me. These race academy sessions at Team Sport are only £10 for a taster session, and then £25.50 from then on. And you also get access to the BIKC, which is Team Sport's big championship nationwide. Team Sport also have 36 locations in the UK alone, so most of the time there is going to be one near you. It is also worth mentioning that although I work with Team Sport, these videos and my opinions and my statements are completely separate from them, and I'm not affiliated with them whatsoever on these videos. There are also other companies such as Daytona that offer tuition. These are at the outdoor tracks. And if you're in another country, I'd recommend just asking your local karting track, where can I learn how to go-kart? And most of the time they'll be able to give you a good idea. Now it's time to move on to section 2, basic racing skills. Let's start with getting into the go-kart. The best way to be seated is to have a slight bend in your arms and legs and be able to control the pedals smoothly. I always like to be as far back as reasonably possible because I like to have my weight over the rear axle for more grip out of the corners. But it doesn't really matter when you're just getting started, it's just a preference. If the seat is too big for you, make sure to ask for a seat insert so you're not sliding around too much in the seat. Then the staff are going to ask you to do a brake test, which is where you come forward and then press the brake as hard as you can to prove that you can stop. Once you have completed that, it is time to head out on track. My advice is to take the first couple of laps to have a good look round and figure out where you are going. Take notes of possible brake markers. These are points on the track which are stationary and you can use as a reference to turn in or brake. These are going to become more and more useful as you gain more experience. But for now, you're going to go round the track. Take notes mentally of where the grip is or isn't, and also good places to overtake. These are usually at the end of long straights or into tight corners where there is enough space to dive down the inside. If you are indoors, there might be ramps up and down. You want to carry as much speed as you can through these, and if you're in electric go-karts, this and long straights might be a good place to press the boost button if there is one. For the first few sessions, my main bit of advice is build up to going fast, as you don't want to smash into a barrier and lose all your confidence. And remember, if you're going to lean into corners, don't look like an idiot by leaning towards the corner. This does not help, and it makes you look stupid. Lean away from the corner towards the outside, but I wouldn't recommend doing this at the start as it can mess up your steering. Also, when overtaking, be careful and leave room, and don't be that one guy who weaves down the straights and annoy the regulars. This will just get you black flagged and you will lose racing time and valuable practice. You have now completed a few karting sessions and you're wanting to buy your own gear. My advice is most people start off with a helmet, but this is the wrong place to go. Start by buying gloves on the Demon Tweaks website or other karting stores, and then buy a rib protector. These are your two most important things, because your main point of contact with the go-kart is your gloves, and also you don't want to be injured by battering your ribs. I would then go ahead and order a suit and then a helmet. These are very important because some of the suits at the rental karting tracks can be a bit grubby. And then finally buy some shoes. These are very important in Rotax karts like the ones on screen now, but in rental karting it doesn't really matter. Now we're going to talk about dedicating your time. This section is very short, but at the end of the day it's up to you. But I would recommend dedicating as much time as you can physically take to go-karting, as it's a sport that requires you to learn a lot of muscle memory and do it a lot of times to get good. So good luck out there. Now the final section is the next steps. At this point I ask you, how much go-karting have you done? If you say you've done less than a year and no rental kart championships, I would say get your ass back into a slow rental kart and get yourself some more experience in championships and in rental karting. Now, if you say you've done loads and loads of go-karting and you've won an SWS championship, I'd say, well done, you're pretty waffed. Let's get you into a Rotax kart. I'll pat you on your back and whisper good luck as you walk off into the sunset. You're ready to go waft in a Rotax. And the next day, I look at the newspaper and it says, in headlines, GUI racing student fractures his spine flipping a go-kart over a wall. And then I will retire from go-kart coaching and hide on a Caribbean remote island and never make contact with the modern world ever again. But I will ask you, before you leave, if you did find this video helpful, please subscribe and comment the word Caribbean to confuse absolutely everyone. I'll see you in the next one. GUI Racing out.